Hello. Well, yesterday, most of you will probably have seen on the news the passing of Burt Bacharach, famous songwriter, composer, etc. Um, very few people, I would imagine, have never heard of him anyway. He was 94, so it was a good age, but still, there we have it. He did most of his successful material with Hal David, who was his lyricist. And it's a shame, really, because when Burt Bacharach's mentioned, quite often they omit to talk about Hal David, and his lyrics I thought were tremendous across the whole range of songs that they composed together. Anyway, I wanted to show you this. Back to Bacharach. And it's a show that Mrs. Wood and I went to see some years ago at the Brindley Theatre in Runcorn. And it comprised of people that were singers and artists who'd appeared in shows in the West End, basically a lot of the cream. And I bought this programme. It was a fantastic show, and it covered most of Burt Bacharach's career. Some of the people that performed in that show, and they were all very good. And when we were coming out, they were at the door and they shook hands with us and thanked us for coming. It was a fantastic show, one of the best I've seen there. That's a group of them all together, and the musicians. Sound quality was brilliant that night. Whoever was doing the sound balance, but lovely programme. I think it's still running, possibly in Europe. But when you think about Burt Bacharach and Hal David, people that perform their songs, Cilla Black, Tom Jones, Aretha Franklin, Dionne Warwick had a very long career with the two of them. Gene Pitney, Frank Sinatra, even Elvis Presley, the Beatles. I can't think what it was that they'd covered of his anyway. Perry Como, Catch a Falling Star. Do you remember that? And Magic Moments. My mum used to like that. Marty Robbins, Dusty Springfield, and the Carpenters. Now, I've got all the Carpenters albums, and I thoroughly enjoy their music. And great tragedy when Karen Carpenter passed away anyway. And there are many, 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 many more that covered their songs. I think in total I read something that Burt Bacharach, Hal David, composed about 500 songs over a full career, and there were 50 top 10 records. I'm not sure whether that's in the United States. I think it possibly is. Another little fact on Burt Bacharach is he'd been awarded 6 Grammys. It's amazing, isn't it? 6 Grammys and 3 Oscars for music that he'd done for films, and he'd even appeared in cameo roles in various films, including Austin Powers, and he was rejigging some of his music for that film where his little mouse in it. I can't remember what the name of it was now. And was it Stuart Little or something? Anyhow, and another thing as well that I didn't realise. I must have missed this completely. Some years ago, he appeared at Glastonbury, and that was very successful. He carried on right into later years, working with various top-notch people. I think it was the 90s. I think it was the later 90s that he worked with Elvis Costello. I haven't heard any of that material, actually, that he worked with Elvis Costello on, but interesting nonetheless. Anyhow, since I saw the news about that, I've already got various songs composed by Bacharach and David strewn across multiple albums, including The Drifters, Dusty Springfield, Gene Pitney, and a lot of the people I've mentioned earlier on. I looked on eBay and I noticed that the price of Burt Bacharach albums or compilations suddenly shot up. This tends to happen when people have popped their clogs, you know. Anyway, one that I picked up about 4 years ago, and I think it was only $2.99 used at the time on eBay, is this one. Magic Moments, the definitive Burt Bacharach collection. Well, this is a 3 CD jobby. Let's just open it up. There we have. Nice picture of Burt there. There are 75 tracks on this. Dionne Warwick, as I mentioned before, B.J. Thomas, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, Neil Diamond, Anita Harris, Stylistics, Carol Bayer Sager, Just Friends. Now, I know he was married 4 times, and he was married to Angie Dickinson, but I think he was also married to Carol Bayer Sager as well, and she's a songwriter of some note. Came with this nice booklet that gives writing credits, etc. inside. Nice picture of Burt and Elvis Costello, and when you open it up, this was written on the 17th of September 2008. It's Elvis Costello writing in praise of Burt and the pleasure of working with him, etc. Another nice shot of Burt there. Still very interesting there. But when I looked on eBay, silly prices for them. I just don't understand it. Anyway, I'd be surprised if some of you haven't got some Burt Bacharach in your collections, and maybe you're playing it today, or maybe looking on Spotify, seeing what's available. As I say, he appeared at Glastonbury. I didn't see that performance, but I have heard him singing some of his own songs, and to me, I don't think his voice particularly works for some of them, but still, probably best not to say that, but there you go. There's the well-documented tale about Cilla Black, and the 29 takes for her to record Alfie, so that Burt could get it just how he wanted. Now, I think it was always been a bit of a bone of contention with Dionne Warwick, because she'd recorded it, and but it wasn't down to Burt. Apparently, it was down to the the film company. It was a British film, Alfie, as we know, Michael Caine, etc. And they wanted a British artist, so they plumbed for Cilla Black. Personally, I prefer Dionne Warwick's version of it. There we have it. And the rest is history. There was a clip of him talking about it yesterday on the news, and he was pretty much making light of it. He wanted to get it just how he wanted it. I find sometimes with Cilla Black's voice, although I have got several recordings of Cilla Black, some things a voice can be a little brittle. I liked Dusty Springfield covering Bacharach and David. Maybe she could have possibly made an album. I mean, she didn't, but she could have done, I suppose, years ago. But busy in other ways. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my ramble about Burt. If you did, please click a like on the YouTube box thingy, which is there somewhere. So click a like and consider subscribing, because you subscribing gives me more chance and more motivation to make more videos like this, and I can show you more and more things from my collection. Any comments, good or bad, I'm glad to hear them anyway. Okay, thanks ever so much for your time.